And here we are back at my 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia. And for some of you that watched my first video, I actually did a tuning video on the GAN GT tuning module. And I really wanted to do some testing to figure out, hey, is chip tuning anything that actually works? Does it add to the performance of the vehicle? And I wanted to figure out, you know, with some science, hey, does it make a difference in the performance of the car?
All right, so for those of you that might have watched the first video or didn't watch the first video, quick reminder, hey, took my stock 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia, put it on the dyno, confirmed that we've got 280 horsepower at the engine, then actually went to Mill Creek Automotive, had the GAN GT chip tuning module installed. Then we put it back on the dyno, and via that dyno, second dyno, we confirmed that we gained 23 horsepower by the GAN GT chip tuning module. So does the chip tuning module work? Absolutely. So now that we've confirmed that, hey, I've been driving with it for about 9 months now, and so some people have asked me, hey, what do you think after 9 months? And hey, can you give us a few updates around the 9-month mark about what it's like driving with the GAN GT chip tuning module? Here's the GAN GT chip tuning module installed in the Alfa Romeo Giulia. And as a reminder, we got 23 horsepower worth of gain from installing the tuning module. Okay, what you see here is from the GAN website. This is a screen grab from December 31st, 2021. The unit that I purchased is the one on the right. And as you see indicated here, 48 horsepower potential in gain, and I say potential. If you see the small little one there, that's the legal disclaimer that says, hey, it contingent upon your vehicle and the fuel you're using, and you may or may not actually achieve the maximum stated here. And as we know, I didn't achieve that. I achieved a 23 horsepower gain. So, but anyway, I wanted to show you that. You also notice that they mentioned that up to 15% fuel savings. I have seen no fuel savings by using the GAN GT. Matter of fact, I've actually would say that the mileage has gone down with the GAN GT. And although I haven't exactly measured it, my sense is that it's probably dropped in the neighborhood of, say, 2 to maybe up to 4 or 5 miles a gallon. Now, here's a competitor product to the GAN GT. Just wanted to show you that they make similar kind of statements and similar horsepower gains, although not as aggressive. You see here only 30 horsepower gain for their best unit. And really what I just wanted to show you is that, hey, none of the chip tuners know exactly how it's going to perform on your vehicle. So they make a best estimate based on their engineering stats, but hey, your results will vary. And what I just wanted to pull up to close this section out is the actual dyno results that I did after I installed the GAN GT on my 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia, and you'll see that I got the 23 horsepower improvement. What I've pulled up here is the app view of the GAN GT software on my iPhone. This is basically how you interface with the device. You'll see here, it's got my vehicle on there, the Alfa Romeo. It's got the various modes that you can select on the device, and you see that I've got it in sport mode. You can't quite see it here on the screenshot, but toward the bottom, there is a timer on there, and you can set the timer to any, just about any length of time you want for how much you want to let your car warm up before the GAN GT is enabled. I have selected 5 minutes. I feel comfortable with the 5-minute warm-up period. That's what I primarily use. And basically what I have done is I simply have set it in sport mode, and I kind of leave it there. I really very rarely go into the app and change it. My thought is that, hey, I got it because I wanted to provide a little more oomph for my vehicle, and that's what it does, and I just want it available when I decide I want it. So that was kind of my thinking behind leaving it in the sport mode. And of course, it's not safe to be driving your vehicle and dinking around with the app and trying to select different driving modes anyway. And so I pretty much just set it and forget it. Now, what I do find myself changing all the time is the Alfa Romeo DNA selector. I do not have race mode on my car because that's available on the Quadrifoglio, not the 2-liter, which is what I have. So you see D, N, and A. A is the advanced economy, N is natural, and D is dynamic. And so what I find myself doing is, depending on my intended driving path and my intended driving plan, I will adjust the DNA selector and to really more mirror with my intended driving for that particular trip. So that way I've got one thing to worry about. It's quick to change. I don't have to look at it while I'm driving. I can simply adjust that on the go. And I find that with the GAN GT, I now use the DNA selector all the time. And so in the past, a lot of times I left it in N, unless I was particularly inclined to go for a more sport kind of performance mode. Then I would switch it to the D, and sometimes in extreme weather I would switch it to the A mode. But most of the time I just left it in N. But now that I know I've got this extra push behind the vehicle, I find myself using the DNA selector very frequently, again, depending on how I intend to drive the vehicle on that particular trip. But hey, the most important thing is, how does it feel behind the wheel? So let's go back out and get behind the wheel of the Alfa Romeo.
So here we are back behind the wheel of my 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia, and got the GAN GT on. It is already past the 5-minute warm-up period that I have set, and I have the Alfa Romeo in D dynamic mode. I do have, just as a confirmation, I do have the GAN GT set into sport mode, which is the most aggressive driving option for the GAN GT. And the way I would describe the driving, again, I've had it over 6 months now, is really, it's a level of eagerness with the car that it's simply just ready to go. It's responsive, it's more ready, and it's more fun to drive that way. So anyway, I know it's always a little hard to tell, hey, what it's like behind the wheel, on a video, but certainly I'll do my best on this little stretch of road to kind of, give you a little sense of the level of just responsiveness that you get from the GAN GT. As soon as I touch the throttle, it goes. So just a different level of driving fun. So I still recommend the GAN GT after over 6 months of use. So if you're still kind of on the fence about trying out chip tuning, I say go for it. It's not a super expensive investment. It's definitely an investment. But hey, if it increases the fun behind the wheel, then why not go for it?